Welcome back, everybody, for another video. This time we're featuring actually an Etsy shop. This video is just kind of going to feature a few things I picked up for them that I wanted you guys to be aware of, for those of you who like to customize figures or are just really into accessories or just really hate She-Ra's classic vintage tiara. Those of you who have been following me for a while, you've seen some of these before. Like the dead center is the Hordak Havoc staff. And then on the left is the Stratos original comic feature, whatever, collar and waistband. I use those on my Party Boy Stratos is what I like to call them. I already have two of them. This is actually my third set that I've bought. I recently picked up everything you see here except for the staff. And I made an order, figured I may as well throw another one in. I absolutely love the army build. It's a huge thing for me to army build characters, especially something like the avians. So yeah, that some of you guys have seen those already if you've seen my other videos. And then the Havoc staff has been featured in a few Horde videos. And then we have that gold sword, which is actually King Randor's. I believe it's based on the 200 Times series. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's where it's from. And then of course the tiara for She-Ra, and I actually really hate the vintage tiara. I'm fine with the fact that that's what they gave us, because that's what the classic figure came with, and we want to try to keep those vintage figures a little bit closer to what the originals were. But I swear I'll probably never use that vintage tiara again now that I have this, and it looks sharp. I've used it before. I've put it on her as soon as I got her just to see what it looks like, and it looks great. And then, of course, her power sword, which is actually a little bit smaller than He-Man's sword. Hold on a second. Let me grab one. Well, I don't think if we made it as big as He-Man's, it would look right holding it. I think it's more based on her yellow sword or whatever. It's basically the same size as that. Where is her? There it is right there. But I don't think it would look good as big as He-Man's sword. But, with the size of the figure. But I kind of sometimes wish there was maybe, wish there's a way to work that out, to where the two swords were the same size. But otherwise, yeah, it's just really cool. I really wanted, a little bit more accurate to the Filmation cartoon sword for her, and along with the tiara. That's probably what I'll use from now on. But yeah, they look really good. They do have that 3D printed texture to it, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It definitely really works for Randor's sword, and you don't really notice it with the rest of them. Probably the most noticeable is She-Ra's power sword, but again, it looks great. I highly recommend it. The prices are really good. He has a bunch of other stuff that I would like to get. I think it's a he, but you never know. But he has a magic mirror. He's got a throne, which is probably more than I'll ever spend. But he has all sorts of cool accessories, and I've ordered from him twice already. I definitely will be ordering from him in the future. I would like some more weapons for the avians. He has some of the comic book accurate weapons that are used in it. He has some of the other more deep cut, what would you call it, talismans that Skeletor is always looking for. I just really highly recommend checking that out and picking some of those up. But anyways, what would one of my videos be without setting them up for some toy pictures? So let's go to a She-Ra pick using that tiara with the sword. So here's our first shot using those Talos creations, accessories from Etsy. Just kind of throwing in, using She-Ra with that sword, that headpiece that make this character so much better. I think the sword is fine now that I've had it for a shot. The old yellow sword is fine, but it is nice to have the actual metallic, from the actual series versus the vintage toy. And of course, that tiara is just all the difference in the world for that character. That other one's just so ridiculous. So, again, respect that they made it Just not a big fan of it. It's so clunky and huge and kind of out of place with her. She definitely looks, she's got such a cool Amazonian look to her, you know, just as a figure in general, but then taking that kind of giant headpiece off. And then, of course, Hordak with that, his Havoc staff or whatever it's called with Hordak, you know, in the very back. But yeah, just kind of making a multi-tiered, rock formation. I still really wish I had some mountains. I really got to figure out some way to get mountains back there. Whether it's a new canvas or else, just actually getting handmade styrofoam, mountains, making them myself. I'd kind of dress this up quite a bit, I think. But yeah, and we got all the horde in there. We even got, what's Mosquito back there, and then filling in the rest of the spots with Horde Troopers. I'm on the verge of buying a 5th Horde Trooper, but, even with this picture, I don't know if I'll ever need more than 5 or more than 4, just because you can only get so many in a picture at one point in time. They do look really good on a shelf, and it's pretty amazing that we got the Horde. I mean, we're still missing, a few characters. It'd be nice to get Shadow Weaver and Modulok, and the rest I don't care that much about. But yeah, it's pretty amazing to have the original 4 Mosquito and then the Troopers with Hordak. I could definitely use another custom Hordak. We keep getting, more and more, Skeletors and He-Mans and stuff, but maybe it's time for what do you call it? A variant of Hordak and even She-Ra. I mentioned before we really needed Dora herself, just in her normal clothes. But yeah, it's pretty great to have all these guys and finally get one good shot of not just He-Man taking them all on, but with his sister She-Ra there with the correct power sword, and it's pretty amazing. The origin still just blows my mind how far we've come in such a short period of time with them. But anyways, let's go on to another picture. So yeah, it's kind of fun doing this video, and just kind of the sole purpose of getting those Talos Dream Shop custom pieces out and about and everything. But it's kind of a first for a lot. This pop-up Dio that we see here is Extreme Sets, and I just got it. I haven't really had a chance to play with it that much. Just kind of snapping a few things together. This is the first real photo I've done with it, so definitely a lot different than what I'm used to. This thing's huge. It takes up most of my table. Mini-Mate, toys are so much easier to take pictures of than everything else, than 1/6 scale. It's crazy how much more difficult it is. But yeah, this shot turned out really good. We do have, King Randor's sword front and center, compared to the last one where you just barely even notice that. I think if somebody looked at that last picture's She-Ra and He-Man, you wouldn't even think twice about the tiara or the sword if I didn't point it out or whatever. But this one, at least, the sword made it front and center. But yeah, we got this Dio. It's pretty awesome. We have the Lords of Power, just kind of that, loosely based on the 200 Times series where Keldor raids the palace and ends up with acid on his face. He fights King Randor. So yeah, we just basically a fun way to feature all the Lords of Power versus King Randor. And I've wanted to do this picture for a while, getting some of those masters that were there during the big battle, like Stratos and Man-at-Arms, obviously. And then, of course, Trapjaw when he's still Kronos, and that version, that 200 Times version of Evil Lyn, and then the other Lords of Power, Beastman and Triclops. I think it makes such a great team. So and then actually back in that jail cell, throwing Pigface back in there, Pighead back in there, just to kind of throw in a little Easter egg. And I may take a couple pictures of him. I may leave this set up for another video and quick take a few pictures just to feature on other stuff, because yeah, this thing's fun. But anyways, let's go to that last picture. We'll feature Stratos's extra parts. All right, guys, I was going to jump on that Stratos shot with the Party Boy Stratos with his extras, but decided that we didn't get to see She-Ra enough in the other shots. Like, the last shot we really got King Randor's sword in there. But with the She-Ra shot, there's so much going on there. a little afraid that nobody's going to notice her sword as much or tiara, so I just want to do one more shot. This is kind of a classic, what I've done with mini mates for many years, is kind of an upward angle, kind of looking down on them with, you know, bodies surrounding them, as if she just, you know, went to battle and took them all out. So yeah, just a nice simple shot, making sure that you can see, you know, the side of the sword that has that bulb looking thing on it. And yeah, her tiara is a little bit more, you know, front and center in this picture. And I will say this is the first time where I thought, yeah, I could probably use about 2 more Horde troopers because it just isn't as filled in as I want it to be. But it still works. It still looks great. It's still a cool shot. So yeah, let's go do that Stratos shot real quick. All right, so we got our setup done. You know, I'm not really focusing too much on those avian, you know, army builders. You know, I like to call them Party Boy Stratos. If you guys have ever watched my videos before, you heard me talk about them. Those are custom parts that I've had for a while. Actually, the first thing I bought was those from him. The whole reason I bought them for him was I love army builders. You know, for those of you who've been following me since I've been doing mini mates, is you know how much I absolutely adore army builders. And one of the great things about Origins is they've given us a lot of army building figures. These, you know, the avians, you know, Buzz Off works as an army builder. You know, the Horde troopers. I believe we're getting these like skeleton warriors eventually. We have the, you know, Palace Guard, and I absolutely love having army builders. So the avians are no exception. You know, I just absolutely love them. I actually have one more set of that collar and the waistband, and I haven't bought a Stratos yet. I keep hoping to find them for cheap, but what I'm guessing is I'm gonna be out toy hunting someday, and I'm just gonna see one and I may as well grab it. I mean, it's not like Masters of the Universe are that much anyways, but that'll bring me up to, you know, 3 of them plus Stratos, so 4 avians. It'd be really cool if they gave us a female avian. I'd be very happy with that. But otherwise, yeah, this picture itself is just basically maybe like a peace broker between the avians and whatever Buzz-Offs people are called, if they're anthroids, or I don't remember what they're called. Somebody correct me in the comments. But it's just kind of, you know, it's set up as He-Man brokering some kind of peace deal. Those, you know, 2 groups of people, you know, weren't exactly the easiest with each other, at least in the 200 Times series. And I think the avians they're kind of isolationists in the first place. So they don't really like, you know, other, you know, races and species kind of coming to their home. But I just figured this would make a really cool shot of, you know, Stratos meeting Buzz-Off for, you know, some kind of peace treaty, and He-Man's brokering it. So turned out really good. We got the rolling terrain, you know, with stuff underneath it. So when you know, look at it, you can see the ground behind He-Man, and then using the fuzzier, you know, grass up front just because it looks so much better. And then just having the avians, you know, up there perched on rocks. I wish I had some bigger trees. I would definitely put more bigger trees in. And just kind of help with my border, I put these other trees up front to make it look like they're maybe leaving a forest, heading into avian territory where the guards are. But really turned out cool. This background is such a pain to get the wrinkles out of. It's pretty awesome. Like I said before, it really helps to where I can get wide open shots, but the wrinkles are just unbearable, and trying to get this thing to lay flat is almost impossible, so it's been pretty annoying. But otherwise, guys, hit the like and subscribe button. Check out the description of the video. Make sure you check out Etsy for that Talos Dream Shop. His you know, if you saw what you like, or if you like what you saw in this video, make sure you check that out, and we'll see you guys at the next video. Bye now.